Okay, I think we're 3 minutes in. I think I'm going to get started. If you're just joining us, again, we'd love to have you put your organization that you're from and also where you're located in the chat. But I'm going to get started with the Guide to Giving Tuesday. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining today's webinar, Your Guide to Giving Tuesday with Raisley and Dataro. So let's get started. First, I just want to say that Raisley acknowledges that we are gathered on lands that have been traditionally stewarded by Indigenous peoples for generations. We recognize and respect the enduring relationship that exists between Indigenous communities and their traditional territories. And the agenda here for today's webinar, we're going to start with an overview of Giving Tuesday. We're going to talk about its history, its results, and the importance of participation for nonprofits. Then we'll chat a bit about why Raisley would be a really great partner for your Giving Tuesday campaign this year. We're going to take a look at our brand new Giving Tuesday appeal template, which I'm so excited to show you all today. And then I'm going to hand the microphone over to Mike from Dataro. He's going to speak about how you can leverage AI and recurring giving to make the most out of Giving Tuesday. And then we're going to wrap up with a Q&A. Hopefully we have some time. I think we will have some time for that. And some next steps, including our giveaway that we have planned, which is another really exciting feature of this webinar. So make sure you stay tuned for that. I also just want to mention we have Sunshine and Marina here from the Raisley team. They are in the chat, managing the chat. So please ask your questions. If there is a question you would like myself or Mike to answer at the end, then please use Zoom's Q&A feature. You'll see that down there on the toolbar, and we will answer some of those questions at the end of the webinar. I thought we'd start off quickly with some introductions. Hi, everyone. My name is Haley, and I'm the Business Development Manager for North America here at Raisley. I grew up in and around the charitable sector, so it was always a really natural choice for me to have a career in it. I was a fundraiser myself before joining Raisley, and I love that every day I get to use my skills and my experience working in nonprofit fundraising to help organizations all across Canada and the US achieve their fundraising goals through creative and innovative digital campaigns. Mike, do you want to introduce yourself to everyone?
Sure. Thanks, Haley. And thanks everybody for being here. My name is Mike Slaughter. I'm the Director of Key Accounts at Dataro. We exist to help organizations make sense of their donor data and help people reach out to organizations or to their donors in new and exciting ways. Before coming to Dataro, I've been in the nonprofit tech sector for about 10 years. And before that, I was a fundraiser myself. So like Haley, I come from a place where I was out there in the field asking for support as well. I'm just really excited to be here and talk about Giving Tuesday with you all and talk about Dataro and also Raisley.
Yeah. Thanks, Mike. I do have to say, I was really excited when I heard from the marketing team that I was going to get to present the webinar with Dataro. We've been at several conferences with Dataro, actually at AFP Icon back in April. Dataro and Raisley were right beside each other, so we got a chat with the team. But also, when you kind of step back and look at Raisley and Dataro, they're two digital platforms for nonprofits that work really well together. So on the Raisley side, we have the tools you need to build these incredible donor experiences that help boost donor acquisition. And then when you throw in Dataro's machine learning, which is going to optimize the donors you already know and be able to identify those donors who are ready to give and willing to give, will enable you to run really successful campaigns and raise more. And so our two platforms together really do make for a streamlined, personalized, AI-powered donor experience from start to finish. Now let's chat Giving Tuesday. What is Giving Tuesday and why is it important for nonprofits to get involved? Well, Giving Tuesday is this powerful global movement. It's a day that is set aside to encourage people everywhere to do good and to give back to their communities. It was created in response to the growing commercialization of the holiday season. So especially after events like Black Friday and Cyber Monday, that really focus on shopping and consumerism. There was an organization in New York City, the 92nd Street Y, that recognized that we needed to balance out this level of consumerism, and we needed to add some generosity and some kindness. So the 92nd Street Y in New York City, as I mentioned, and the United Nations Foundation came together to launch Giving Tuesday in 2012. And since then, it's become an annual tradition. It takes place every year on the Tuesday following Thanksgiving in the United States. And it's just become this day that has inspired millions of people around the world to support the causes that they care about, which is why it makes such a significant event for charities and nonprofits. And the results really speak for themselves. So it's proven to be an incredibly impactful movement with just remarkable fundraising results year after year after year. Last year in 2023, an impressive $3.1 billion was raised in the US alone. And if we're looking ahead to 2024, the projections are suggesting that this figure could grow even more, and it's likely to reach between $3.5 billion raised and $5.1 billion raised. But the impact of Giving Tuesday isn't limited to just one country. It's truly a global movement. It's actually active in over 100 different countries, and it's really there to offer vast opportunities for charities to connect with their supporters worldwide, expand their reach, expand their impact. And with such a significant financial impact and with the global participation that it has, Giving Tuesday really does stand as a powerful force for good, uniting people everywhere in their shared commitment to generosity and positive change. And I just want to actually highlight a couple examples from Giving Tuesday around the world, because we know that the impact extends far beyond the US. So Giving Tuesday Hungary saw twice the expected number of campaigns. Giving Tuesday Mexico drove 14.5 million pesos in online donations. Giving Tuesday Canada had an incredible impact with over $50.5 million in online donations, which was marked by a 17% increase. We had Giving Tuesday Philippines, which distributed 2,000 meals to 3 local communities. Giving Tuesday Italy reached 1.3 million people via social media, which was a 34% increase in awareness. And Giving Tuesday Brazil, which saw over 70 plus community campaigns. And Raisley really is such a great partner for your Giving Tuesday campaign. If you need a refresher, we are an all-in-one fundraising platform designed to help charities and nonprofits create and run effective campaigns with ease. So we offer a comprehensive suite of tools that includes everything from donation forms to peer-to-peer to appeals to ticketed events, making it simple to manage every aspect of your fundraising in one place. Our platform is incredibly user-friendly, allowing you to build and launch fully branded campaigns very quickly without the need for technical expertise. So whether you're looking to create a straightforward donation page or something maybe a little bit more complex like a peer-to-peer campaign, Raisley's flexibility and customization options ensure you can tailor your campaigns to fit your unique goals. And best of all, we are a completely free platform. So we're funded by optional donor tips. All you pay are credit card processing fees. We are a remote and global team spread across the world, and really all of us here are driven by social impact and putting purpose over profits. So that probably comes as no surprise that we are a very proud B Corp that has enabled nonprofits to raise over $670 million. And we've got some ambitious plans to reach that $1 billion raised mark by 2025. And to help us reach that goal, we have invested heavily in research and development to ensure that our customers have the best, highly optimized, high-converting tools possible. We are trusted by charities across North America and around the world. If you are not a current customer but are interested in learning more about Raisley, you can book a demo with myself by using the QR code here on this slide, or you can also head over to raisley.com and you can request a demo there too. I love talking fundraising, could talk about it all day. So if you want to chat about your Giving Tuesday campaign, your annual peer-to-peer, an upcoming ticketed gala, or if you just want to see what Raisley has to offer, let's talk. Now, let's get into strategy, Giving Tuesday strategy. We all know that there are many different types of fundraising campaigns that you can use on Giving Tuesday, but today we are going to highlight appeal campaigns. So an appeal campaign is both simple and highly focused on a specific call to action. So they're usually going to appear as a singular landing page, and they do their best to stress urgency, impact, and the importance of immediate support to achieve a critical goal. So our 2023 benchmarks report found that appeals have about a 34% email conversion rate, an 18% site visitor conversion rate, an average donation amount of $95, a median donation amount of $35, and we found that the typical appeal campaign does last about 8 weeks. So the simplicity of the appeal really aligns with the Giving Tuesday momentum, making it easier for donors to understand, the significance of the event and act quickly. If you have ever been in a demo with me, you have probably heard me talk about how the donation form really is the single most important aspect of any digital fundraising campaign. If you have a very long form, a very confusing form, a complicated form, and an outdated form, donors are going to back away from giving. So if one of your goals for Giving Tuesday is donor acquisition, then optimizing your donation form to be simple, user-friendly, and visually appealing is crucial to both attracting and retaining new donors. You have to remember, we're living in this world where convenience and ease of use drive donor behavior. So failure to adapt could mean missing out on key opportunities for fundraising growth and for supporter engagement as well. Here at Raisley, we have worked tirelessly to create what we think is a pretty top-tier donation form. Our V3 form was launched last summer, and these numbers really do speak for themselves. Conversion rates are up 20%, average donation amounts are up 24%, and regular giving conversion rates are up 39%. And overall, organizations who are utilizing our V3 donation form are seeing a 48% increase in overall fundraising. Now, Mike is going to talk about this in a little bit, but Giving Tuesday really is a fantastic opportunity to bring in new monthly donors. So by highlighting the sustained impact of a recurring gift, you're going to encourage those supporters to commit to ongoing contributions, which is going to ensure long-term support for your organization. So leveraging the momentum and the generosity of Giving Tuesday, you can create really compelling appeals that are going to emphasize the value of a recurring gift, turning one-time donors into loyal supporters who make a difference all year round. To help increase the number of donors who choose recurring gifts, we've actually built a regular giving upsell step into our standard donation form. So this critical step in the donation form encourages donors who initially select a one-time donation to kind of stop and consider converting it into a recurring monthly contribution. So it's a simple but powerful nudge that's going to create substantial impact on the overall success of your fundraising campaigns. And what makes this upsell feature even more effective is we've employed some sophisticated machine learning and experimentation to tailor the upsell amount for each donor and each donation. So by analyzing donor behavior and donor patterns, we're able to determine the optimal amount to suggest increasing the likelihood that a one-time donor will become a recurring supporter. So this is a personalized approach that ensures that the ask that we're asking feels both relevant and compelling to each individual donor. And this is something cool. If you want to increase the average gift this Giving Tuesday, we've learned a simple trick that you can use. It's a small trick, but it's impactful. So what we did is we built an experiment that randomly presented one of 4 variations to users visiting a subset of Raisley sites. So there are thousands of charities and organizations using Raisley for fundraising at any given moment, and many of these organizations have opted into Raisley experiments, which gives us permission to run tests like we've done here. So this enabled us to present the experiment to over 100,000 users and track over 20,000 donations. So here were the 4 variants: ascending order with no default amount selected, ascending order with a default amount selected, descending order, no default amount selected, descending order with a default amount selected. And the differences were small, but there was a clear trend that presenting amounts in ascending order, so going from smallest to largest, had higher conversion rates and higher average donation amounts. So in total, we expect presentations in that ascending order to raise approximately 4% more than donations or than presentations in the descending order. And we also expect presentations with no default amount selected to perform roughly 1% better than those with a default amount selected. Let's talk personalization. So creating a personalized on-site experience for your donors can result in deeper engagement and greater retention. And the reason for this is because everyone has this desire to be seen as an individual rather than just in the collective mass of people. So how can you achieve this on Raisely, and how far can you take it? On Raisely, we have full support for, I'm pretty sure that it's pronounced PURLs, P-U-R-Ls, which stands for personalized URLs. And these are site addresses that carry extra personalized information that can be then used to pre-fill form fields or specific content blocks on your site. So you have the ability to personalize donation amounts based on prior gifts, and you can set up dynamic content via merge fields or custom IDs. The idea with Giving Tuesday is that making your Giving Tuesday campaign as personalized as possible to each individual donor is really, really important, because that is going to strengthen the connection between the donor and your organization. So having personalized messages show that you're understanding the value that each donor's unique interest and contributions, and you're making them feel appreciated and therefore more inclined to give. So tailoring the campaign to reflect their previous involvement from last year or specific preferences will increase engagements, will increase response rates, thus leading to higher donations. And I'm sure some of you are probably doing a match campaign on Giving Tuesday. So securing a match on Giving Tuesday is a very powerful way to amplify donations, because it doubles the impact of every contribution. So this creates a sense of urgency, excitement. It's encouraging donors to give more generously. They're knowing their gift is going to go twice as far. It also provides a compelling reason for supporters to participate, which is going to help you reach your fundraising goals faster and with a greater impact. So what's really interesting is matched giving is used on only about 4% of campaigns that we see on Raisely, but across the board, those campaigns tend to raise dramatically more than campaigns that don't use matched giving. So we found that appeals that do use donation matching raise close to 4 times more than those who don't use donation matching. And with match giving on Raisely, you can automatically match donations you receive for a certain time period within a certain pool of funds, and you can also customize which donations get matched and then watch the donations fly in real time. Okay, I'm so excited for this part. We have built a Giving Tuesday campaign template that you can use to build your own Giving Tuesday campaign. It's really easy to set up, but it's really focused on conversions. So it's built to raise you more money. And it's not out yet. We're still putting some of the finishing touches on, but we do expect it to be released within the next day or so. And it's only going to be released to start 2-hour webinar registrants. So you will get an email announcing the launch and letting you know next steps. But I'm so excited that I get to give you the first look at it here today. Before I show it to you, I just want to thank both the Gord Downie and Channy Wenjack Fund and Lung Cancer Canada, 2 of our customers, for letting us use their brands to build these Giving Tuesday campaigns with our new template and be able to show you the template live and in action today before it's released. So I'm just going to head out here, and I'm going to head into Lung Cancer Canada first. So I'm going to take you through some of the different components of the template. Up here, we have what we are calling a header ribbon. So this can be used for many different purposes, but it's more than likely going to be the first thing your site visitor sees. So in this case, we have highlighted a match. So we're saying, hey, before you even look at the rest of the site, you can double your impact. And the donor can click on that button there, or even down here, and that's going to open our donation modal. So the donation modal pop-up is a newer feature, but we are seeing that it does have a slightly higher conversion rate when compared to a donation form that is embedded right on the page. If we keep scrolling, we've got a row here that is meant to highlight the specific initiative for your Giving Tuesday campaign. So are you looking for general funding, or do you have a project or a program that you want specifically funded on Giving Tuesday? You can highlight that here in that row. We've also got another call to action donate button. And down here, we have more donate buttons. So already in just those few scrolls, we've had 4 different touch points nudging donors to give. If I keep scrolling, we know that social media plays a really, really, really big part in Giving Tuesday. So down here, they can share the campaign to social media, but we also have a copy to clipboard button here. So they can copy a specific message that your organization has set up, and then they can paste that into their socials. And what's cool in Raisely is you can also embed iframes. So your chosen social media feed that you use, we've used Juicer here as an example. You can use an iframe, paste it directly into your campaign page so that your supporters can see that social media feed right there on the page. Now let's take a look at our second example. So right off the bat, you do see that it is the same template, but it's also different from Lung Cancer Canada, right? So we've got the header ribbon being used as a countdown to Giving Tuesday. We've got a video background rather than a picture, but we still have that modal donation button here. And we've still got that row, where we are encouraging people to talk about their specific initiative, project, program that they want funded on Giving Tuesday. We still continue to emphasize donations by having multiple buttons for donors all throughout the site to be able to donate. Here are some pre-select buttons. So whatever button I select here, it'll pre-select for me on the donation modal. If I keep scrolling, we do have, the social buttons, a special thank you to our sponsors, FAQs. Most Giving Tuesday campaigns will be simple appeal-based landing pages, but these templates are also built with peer-to-peer in them if you choose. So a peer-to-peer event on Giving Tuesday is a really great idea to get your corporate partners, your board members, or even just your most loyal supporters involved with your Giving Tuesday campaign. So I think if I click on here, it's going to take me to the Hudson Bay's Foundation Giving Tuesday profile that they can share with their employees, with their network, who can then donate on their behalf. And the beauty of Raisely is that our templates truly are 100% customizable. So you can remove elements from the template you don't need. You can add to the template if needed. Like I said earlier, we have built this template with a focus on conversions. So we want people to donate, and with a Raisely Giving Tuesday appeal campaign, they most certainly will. And I'm actually going to throw it now over to Mike from Dataro. And I'm going to stop my screen share.
Very good.
And
I will jump in and share my screen. And thank you so much, Haley. Those templates are stunning. I've been in digital fundraising for a long time now, and I've seen good ones, bad ones, everything in between. And those templates are surely going to be high performing, especially the fact that they're free. I mean, there's like literally no barrier to entry here. There's no excuse, right? Giving Tuesday is a phenomenon, and it's something that everybody should be taking advantage of. So thanks a ton, and can't wait to see what people think and how this Giving Tuesday pans out for everyone. All right, so following your Giving Tuesday, the question is what to do with your donors. So that's what we're going to talk a little bit about today for the second half of this hour is how you can use machine learning and predictive AI to really make the most out of your new donors who have come in by way of Giving Tuesday and your existing donors who have been supporters of your organization for a long time. As Haley mentioned, my name is Mike Slaughter. I'm the director of key accounts for Dataro, and we've been around since 2017, helping organizations all around the world make the most of their donor data and reach out to people in more authentic and actionable ways. We've had the pleasure and the honor of working with some really incredible organizations all around the world. Started in Australia, we have an office in the UK, and now also here in the United States. But we serve organizations all over the world, wherever they might be. So, double clicking on Giving Tuesday and kind of what's at stake here. Last year, we know that $3.1 billion was raised. We know that this year it's probably going to be bigger. This is the one day out of the year where your donors are looking for a place to donate. And the classic rule of development certainly applies here. The biggest rule is you don't get what you don't ask for, right? This is the day where people want to make gifts, and they're being barraged, if your inbox is anything like mine, by hundreds, maybe thousands of appeals on a certain day. If you're not asking, if you're kind of opting out of Giving Tuesday because you think that it's too noisy or that your message is going to get lost in the shuffle, you're missing out on a tremendous opportunity to get your message out in front of people who really care about you and to put your message front and center, right? This is a chance for you to really highlight the impact that you're making and to convert people from just being a one-time donor who are making maybe kind of like an entry-level gift into long-time sustainable supporters who can really drive your mission forward and help you grow your program. So that's actually a trend that I want to talk about a little bit. We've seen year over year this trend of recurring giving programs growing, and both by acquisition of new recurring donors who have never given at all to your organization, but also, more than anything else, a flip to converting previous donors into recurring donors during that activation day. So rather than thinking of Giving Tuesday as this kind of like chips into the center of the table, like let's go get as many one-time donors as we possibly can. Certainly, this is a day for acquisition. This is also a day for conversion. This is a day where you can communicate to your existing community the importance of your mission and how they might be able to make an impact over the long haul, not just during one day. It's a day of generosity, right? It's a day where people are thinking about how they can flip the switch from Black Friday and consumerism, and they've probably gone out and maybe bought like a new fridge or lots of gifts for their friends and family. This is a day where they can actually do some good in the world and make an impact for organizations that they care about. So as you can see here in 2023, we saw this trend really take shape. We certainly saw newly acquired donors opt in to become recurring donors, but also we saw existing lapsed donors and existing converted donors really jump into the fray as sustainers as well. So, how do you do that? How do you make the most of this Giving Tuesday? Well, certainly you can use a really beautiful campaign spun up with Raisley, and you can acquire a whole load of new donors through a highly converting donation page, something that makes sure that it plugs all of the gaps in your fundraising strategy, and you're not leaking out people who were maybe intending on making a gift, but it was just too hard. You can certainly do it easily with a technology like Raisley. Once you have those donors in your system, though, you can actually use machine learning and all of the data that you have on them to figure out the best way to reach out to them, retain them, convert them to become recurring donors, prevent churn, and make sure that you're growing your sustainer program naturally. So, what's behind this whole trend? I mean, certainly it's well documented, right? We've got this emerging subscription economy, and I would argue that it's not even emerging anymore. It's everywhere. It's certainly expected. I have a friend actually the other day they were telling me about a shower head filter subscription that they have. Every 3 months they get a new shower head filter for softer hair and a better complexion. Listen, if people are subscribing to shower head filters, then they certainly can subscribe to Impact to help you make a difference in the world. This is not a rare thing. This is something that everybody's used to, right? It's an easier and sometimes preferred method for donors to give. It is kind of like a set it and forget it type of thing. That's not to say that you shouldn't steward your recurring donors. It's just to say that you can make it really easy for people to jump in to the deep end of how you're executing your mission and to strengthen you throughout the course of the entire year. It strengthens donor loyalty. It's an effective tool for improving donor retention, build sustainable and reliable revenue. And that might be the most important part, right? This is bankable revenue that you can budget upon year over year. It is so incredibly important to invest in a strong sustainer program. We know that, well, and this is just driving home the point. Recurring donors have a higher lifetime value, 5.4 times the lifetime value of a single donor. For those who have converted over from giving a one-time gift, they even have a 1.8 x lifetime value just based off of that. So how can AI help you grow your monthly giving program? Well, that's where Dataro steps in. I'm glad that you asked. We exist to help you make sense of your donor data. And rather than just sitting with the traditional, the frequency and the volume, you can do so much more than that. Even if you have really messy data that isn't structured appropriately, chances are you probably have more than you think, right? You probably have the address of somebody who's given, or at the very least, their postal code. You probably have the date on which they gave their gift. You probably have the method with which they gave their gift, whether it's like a credit card or cash or a check. You probably have a lot of things that could help inform what the donor might do in the future. And the way that we use this data is we look at all of these different data points, the transaction history, all commitments, communications, age, gender, location, payment method, acquisition channel, and so many more, sometimes hundreds of different data points. And we look at all of those data points that lead up to a particular action. We look at all of the folks around the globe that we've seen take that action, and that allows us to predict who might take that action in the future. So that applies to lots of things. Certainly recurring donor conversion from a one-time gift, preventing recurring donor churn, recurring donor upgrade, as well as major gift prospects, mid-level gift prospects. Lots of things that we can predict. Chances are, if there is something that your donors have done in the past that you'd like to predict them doing in the future, you can use machine learning to predict that type of thing. So this kind of brings to light the difference between predictive AI, machine learning, and generative AI. We're probably all familiar with ChatGPT and the wonderful things that it can do for you. I like using it to come up with recipes and with dinner menus. Anytime I'm having friends over for dinner, it'll steer me towards, creative ways to make a really fun evening. People use it as their assistants, sitting right next to them on the desk, helping them with day-to-day tasks. We have a generative AI component at Dataro. We'll get into that in just a second. And actually, we're giving it away today for free, so it can help you spin up some messaging for Giving Tuesday. But first, let's talk about the predictive AI and machine learning component to all of this. Predictive AI equals precision targeting. So rather than just sending out a mass email or a mass mailing to everybody out there in your donor base, we live in a world now where you can be much more intelligent about who you reach out to and how you reach out to them. One donor might prefer to give via direct mail, while another one might answer email solicitations a whole heck of a lot more. One donor might be prone to become a monthly donor, while another one might be a best fit for being a major donor. You can identify who to ask, when to ask, why to ask, how much to ask, and just even know like how you should be asking. So in the case of this donor, Tamara, we see that she's 54 years old, and she's got a monthly giving rank of 14 out of the entire database. That's a pretty good rank. She's a top 20 prospect for becoming a monthly donor, and she's not a monthly donor yet. She's also a mid-level donor. She's 80% likely to give a gift of over $500. Do you think this is somebody that we should be reaching out to? Probably so, right? This allows you to run a whole list of people just like Tamara and understand those with the highest propensity for becoming sustaining donors and driving forward your sustaining giving program. Now, for like the first time ever, we can be really, really intelligent about this and target folks in a meaningful way. So we can, as we mentioned, we'll kind of close the loop on this. We can identify who's likely to convert, who's likely to cancel their monthly gift, who you might save by just simply reaching out and saying, hey, just so you know, your monthly gift means the world to us. You're part of our family and you're making a huge impact. Thank you so much for everything that you do. That can actually serve to prevent people from churning out of your sustaining program. Identify people who are likely to upgrade, reactivate a monthly donation. Sometimes it's as easy as just simply clicking a button and your credit card is already saved on file and you're good to go. Identify which channel they're most likely to respond to. So behind all of the scoring, you'll also get prediction reasons, right? All of the different things that go into the score. And this is important because a lot of AI out there is a little bit frightening. It's like this black box that you just feed data into and it spits out scores. At Dataro, it's baked into our DNA to be as transparent with our scoring and our modeling as we possibly can. We want to bring you along for the ride. So you'll see exactly kind of what leads into these scores and what will lead somebody to actually convert. Now, we've got some stellar results with this. We've partnered with UNICEF Australia, for example, and over the course of this particular campaign, we identified an additional 279 supporters that converted in 2022 just by using Dataro. This is 279 supporters that UNICEF wouldn't have really identified or had access to if it weren't for our scoring and our predictive modeling. Greenpeace. Greenpeace was actually one of our very first clients. And in our first run with Greenpeace, we saved 531 donors over the course of 9 months from churning. And that led to raising an estimated 235,000 in extra gifts just by saying thank you to people, just by knowing when to reach out, why you should be reaching out, and the message that you should be delivering. Think about that measured against the old school response of just sending appeals kind of 3 or 4 times a year to everybody in your donor base. Some of those appeals might actually work against you to drive people away or cancel their recurring gift. Wouldn't it be much more intelligent to know that some people are going to churn and reach out to them with a slightly different message? This is the power of machine learning. And you can do this right now. This is not difficult. This is not something that is like George Jetson future focused stuff. This is stuff that we do every day. And we can use your data to help you make those decisions. Now, finally, regarding some free tools that you will be able to get today, we also have a generative AI tool. You can think of it as ChatGPT, but with a development director wrapper on it. We've trained a GPT, a large language model, to respond to things in the way that a development professional might respond to things. And I see some stuff in the chat, so we'll have plenty of time to answer questions too. You'll simply put in a bit about your organization, the cause, some impact statistics if you like, and it will actually draft an entire donor journey for you without you having to do much of anything other than, of course, proofread it. You'll even be able to retarget people. So if a response isn't exactly what you had hoped for, you can simply click a button and say, please make this more inspiring, or please make this more appreciative, or please help target this towards older donors, because that tends to be our demographic. This will do all of that for you. So we're giving it away today for free to everybody who is on the webinar for 90 days. That will lead you right into Giving Tuesday, and our tool paired with Raisely will hopefully lead to your most successful end of year strategy that you've ever had. So I think with that, Haley, should we open it up for questions? I see there's probably a few in the chat. What do you think?
Mike, we've got a couple people are asking, who is George Jetson?
Seriously? Oh my God, I'm dating myself now. I never thought I would get to the point where I'm so old that like people aren't catching my
It's
cultural
okay.
nuances. George Jetson was the father in a cartoon series called The Jetsons, and it was you know, I think it was like the 50s or 60s that it came out. And it was about like this fictional future world where people flew around in like flying cars and there was a robot dog. And like now a lot of the things in the Jetsons are actually real life. We're living in the future, folks. It's nuts.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Welcome to the future. So.
Do you want to talk a bit about the two free tools that are up on the screen?
Yeah, so if you scan this QR code, and we'll email this out to everybody, we've got this growth cheat sheet that you can download. It's kind of all of our best practices and just how to really engage and retain recurring donors for the long haul. And then we also have a monthly giving forecaster. So this tool is really neat. Simply hop to the website, scan the QR code if you like, and you'll be able to punch in your own numbers, and you'll be able to see what might be expected if you were to engage people in a mindful way using your data, the growth that you might be able to achieve by using machine learning. So these are free tools. We exist to make you more successful. Anything that we can do to help make you more successful, we're interested in. We're interested in feedback. So please do download these along with the 90 days of AI Assist. We're thrilled to give it away to people and see how your end of year wraps up.
Awesome. I'm going to take the screen share back from you for just a
Yep,
second. I've got one
perfect.
last screen.
Stop share. There we go. For
In
those of
one
you in the
moment.
chat who are feeling old alongside me, thank you so much for the validation. It's good to know that I'm not alone out there and that I don't have just like one foot in the grave. There's still some good years left in me, I think.
Well, this is the end of the webinar. If you have stuck it out this far, we do sincerely thank you. And here at Raisley, everyone gets the 90 days of Dataro AI Assist, but we have something fun also to give away from Raisley. So if you scan that QR code up on the screen, fill out the form with your details, and we are actually giving away, I believe, three professionally built Giving Tuesday appeal campaigns built by our Built by Raisley service, which is a paid service. We've never done this before. We've never given it away for free. James, who is our Built by Raisley project manager, he is going to build you just the most visually stunning, beautiful campaign possible. Like I said, we're giving away three. Scan that QR code, put in your details. And then when you think about the Raisley template with the 90 days of free Dataro AI Assist, your campaign's built for you, just like that. You could have it ready to go in a day or so. So again, scan that QR code, fill out the form with your details, and I think we'll be in touch with the lucky three winning organizations in the next few days. And do we have any questions? Don't think so. I do have a question about Dataro, though, Mike. Maybe you can
Sure.
answer. Do I have to use a CRM that integrates with Dataro, or can it be, all of my data exported and imported into Dataro via CSV?
Very good question. So the short answer is we are CRM agnostic. You can have kind of any data set out there, and we'll be able to work with you. We have beautiful kind of in-house integrations to leading CRMs like Salesforce, any of the Blackbaud products. Virtuous just went live a couple days ago. And so if you have one of those CRMs, then it's remarkably easy, and we can actually surface predictions directly within the CRM, which is very cool. Allows you to build donor journeys based on your CRM data. If you happen to not have one of those CRMs, or even if you just have like an Excel spreadsheet, some other data set, we actually have a drag and drop tool where you can take your data from whatever CRM you like, drag it and drop it into Dataro, and you can still use all of the predictive modeling that we have. So yeah, it's a great question, and we're happy to support. We're spinning up new integrations every day too, so stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned for a Raisley Dataro integration coming
Yes,
soon, as I
absolutely.
understand it.
That has been a point of discussion, and as I understand it, it is in the works. Our
Yeah.
product team is quite excited about that.
Well, I don't see any other questions, so maybe we end that there and we'll give people 12 minutes back.
Very cool. Well, thanks a ton, Haley. This was a lot of fun, and thank you everybody for coming. Really appreciate you. Best of luck on your Giving Tuesday. If there's anything Haley or I can do for you to make your Giving Tuesday or your end of year more of a success, don't be shy. We're real people too. My dog is hanging out here in the background. I'm like I'm not some old dude sitting in some office somewhere. We just want to help you raise money. And I know I speak for Haley too in saying
Yep.
we really appreciate you being here.
Thank you, everyone.